Welcome to our explainer on the exciting and, yeah, sometimes tricky world of international trade. If you've ever found yourself wondering what on earth happens after you shake hands on a global deal, well, you are in exactly the right place.
So picture this. You did it. You landed an international deal. You've got a buyer, you've agreed on a price, everybody's excited. But what happens now? What actually holds this whole thing together once the celebrating is over? This right here is where the real work, and honestly the real risk, begins.
Because suddenly, you're drowning in paperwork. Your buyer sends over their purchase order and it's got their terms and conditions. Then, you send back your invoice with your terms. And surprise, surprise, they don't match. You've just stumbled into what the pros call the battle of the forms. So who's right? If something goes sideways, whose rules do you follow? This mess is exactly what we're here to sort out.
I want you to think of international trade as a minefield. It is packed with opportunity for sure, but one wrong step, one tiny misunderstood term, can blow up in your face. To get across safely, you need a map, and that's what we're going to draw for you today. And here is the absolute key to the whole thing: clarity and specificity. Every single document, every term, every little choice you make isn't just admin work, it's your shield. The more crystal clear you are from the get-go, the safer you're going to be. So let's start with the biggest shield in your arsenal.
Your contract. It is the foundation for absolutely everything. It's the blueprint for the entire deal. But, trying to write a global contract from scratch, that can be insanely expensive and take forever. The good news is, you don't have to.
Meet your new best friend, the ICC Model International Sale Contract. It's a fantastic tool from the International Chamber of Commerce. The best way to think of it is as a professional-grade fill-in-the-blanks template designed by experts specifically for deals like yours.
And it's so smart because of its simple two-part structure. Part 1 is the specific conditions. That's your part. You fill in all the unique details. Who's the buyer? What are the goods? What's the price? Part 2 is the general conditions. This is the bulletproof legal stuff that applies automatically. It's the perfect mix of a custom deal and world-class protection.
Okay, contract's looking good. Now it's time to figure out the logistics. This is where Incoterms come into play. Just think of them as the universal rules of the road for shipping things across borders.
Basically, these rules are a set of simple three-letter codes. You've probably seen them, like FOB, CIF, DDP. Each one spells out exactly who is responsible for what, who pays for freight and insurance, and, this is the big one, the precise moment when the risk for lost or damaged goods passes from you, the seller, to your buyer.
But, and this is a really big but, not all rules are a good fit for every situation. Choosing the wrong one can be a disaster. Experts give a really direct warning on this. Be super careful when using two terms in particular for international deals: EXW, which is Ex Works, and DDP, Delivered Duty Paid. Let's look at why.
Let's compare two that sound almost the same, just to see the danger. If you agree to DDP, you, the seller, are on the hook for everything. And I mean everything: shipping, insurance, and clearing customs and paying import taxes in the buyer's country. That can be a total nightmare. But with DAP, you just get the goods to the destination, and the buyer has to deal with all the import hassles. That one letter makes a world of difference to your wallet and your legal exposure.
And this brings us to what is easily one of the biggest and most costly misunderstandings in all of trade. Incoterms decide when risk transfers. So if the container falls off the ship, who takes the financial hit? But what they do not decide is when legal ownership, or title, transfers to the buyer. That's a completely separate thing that you have to spell out in your main contract. Please do not mix these two up.
Okay, we have a contract. We know the shipping rules. Now it's time for the question that keeps every seller up at night. How do you guarantee you're actually going to get paid by a buyer you've never met who's thousands of miles away?
Well, the gold standard, the most secure answer, is a letter of credit, or LC for short. The best way to think about it as your financial bodyguard. It's a promise to pay you, but it's not from your buyer, it's from their bank. The bank is literally stepping in and putting its own reputation and credit on the line for your buyer.
And it's a win-win because it's designed to protect everybody. As the seller, you get a guarantee of payment as long as you provide the right documents proving you shipped the goods. And the buyer is protected because their bank won't pay out a single cent until it gets that proof. It's a system built on trust, but verified by paper.
And this, right here, is the golden rule. You have to burn this into your brain. The bank does not care if you shipped gold bars or a box of rubber chickens. They never see the goods. They only see documents. If your bill of lading has one typo, if the invoice amount is off by a penny, if anything doesn't match the LC perfectly, the bank can and will refuse to pay. Strict compliance is not a suggestion, it's everything.
So, finally, let's talk about the ultimate safety net. What happens if even with all this great planning, things still go completely off the rails? What law even applies to your deal?
Well, for a huge number of international deals, the answer is something called the CISG. It's a UN treaty that basically acts as a standardized global rulebook for selling goods. Over 90 countries have signed on, so it creates a predictable, transparent legal framework that helps everyone play by the same rule.
So, to bring it all home, here's your final legal checklist. Your contract needs to spell these out, no ambiguity. Number 1, governing law. Which country's laws will you use? Number 2, dispute resolution. Are you going to court or using a neutral third party, like ICC arbitration? And number 3, Incoterms version. Always specify the year, like Incoterms 2020, so there's no confusion later. And this leads us to a pretty interesting final thought. The CISG, this big international law, actually talks about the importance of acting in good faith. After all, the contracts, the rules, the legal clauses, at the end of the day, business is still done between people. So in a system that's designed to be so rigid and precise, what's the real value of just being a good partner? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us.